Hey guys, it is Monday in New Zealand and not the heat day that they had promised us, but it's all good. We are all coping. So I want to chat to you guys about standards of execution today. And this is going to be a little bit of a rambly one, as though the others aren't. But I want you to bear with me because this is really important. I'm currently busy promoting a new space called Unapologetic, and this is for women with big engines who are here to build big empires and play in a really big and unapologetic way. And I choose unapologetic for a reason, because quite frankly, for as long as we have been here, we have been conditioned to apologize. We have been conditioned from children to always apologize by saying, I'm sorry. You're too loud, Elle, I'm sorry. You're not doing enough, Elle, I'm sorry. You should be seeing more, Elle, I'm sorry. It's a very apologizing kind of culture that we have created. Now, on top of that, we've also created a culture that is very impatient in practice and disciplined focus for execution. And I'm really grateful that I grew up in an era before all of this amazing technology that we have today, because quite frankly, we gave ourselves permission to fuck up royally all the time because we had sacred spaces in which to practice our craft. We had sacred spaces in which we could literally just show up every single day and just go, well, what is it that I'm here to learn next? And how do I get to practice it in a place that's feeling really secure and really safe for me before going out into the world and performing it for everybody's criticism, critique, judgment, and all of that. We don't really have that grace period all that much in today's society. It's very much a case of people just showing up unprepared, unpracticed, and then having to get the hard shell around the severe critique and criticism that we receive, because it's part of the human game that we are all here to play, right? But what is the fine line that we get to walk then? Well, for me, it's been really getting back to roots. It's about staying humble. And for me, being an alpha is about always being humble. It's about not judging anymore what it is that I do, because sometimes we get to do the nasty stuff. Sometimes we get to do the stuff that's really not graceful or elegant, but shit needs to get done. And when we stop judging what we do and instead we bring our focus to how we do it, how we execute it, how present we are in everything, and we start bringing this awareness to everybody around us as well, the game changes completely, because all of a sudden there's no levels of people in society that, well, one job is more important than another, one job has more prestige than another, one title is more desired than another. Because quite frankly, I would rather have somebody in my space who is unattached to their title, unattached to their job description or their company description or any of that, because they are so focused in bringing their energy into the level of execution that makes them proud. This is when we start seeing true leadership, guys. When you start seeing a cleaner who is so present and takes so much pride in their work that they are doing every single day, because they understand the importance of their work in the contribution of anybody who gets to share their space, anybody who gets to receive the results of the work that they are doing. Then we start understanding that, quite frankly, the CEO of a company is not more important or more valuable or more fantastic than the cleaner of the company. So my invitation is for you to start paying attention to your level of execution. And with the level of execution comes grace in allowing yourself to practice, grace in allowing yourself safe spaces in which to practice, in which to be vulnerable. I know society is all about us having to be vulnerable in all the spaces and all the places, and I call bullshit on that. You know, if that's your jam, by all means. Somebody like myself, I actually honor myself enough to have sacred space for vulnerability. I don't need to be vulnerable in front of everybody so that I can have their sympathy, empathy, applause, or whatever the fuck it is that is going on in the world right now. Sacred space is sacred for a reason, and it's good for you to have those spaces. But in order for you to have that, you have to actually start valuing the practice. You have to start valuing the execution and allowing yourself more than enough time and space to practice, to work on your craft, to collaborate with other people that you completely trust, but who are also playing a really big game, who are also actually here building the empires, who are also willing to be audacious and unapologetic for their desires, unapologetic for their statements, because at the end of the day, it's when we are in an unapologetic space that we get the invitation to start showing up in a really big way, no longer saying I'm sorry, no longer having to dim your light, no longer having to be politically correct in what you are saying, no longer having to play smaller for the weakest person in the room. Unapologetic means you expand, you lean into, you show up, you surround yourself with people who inspire you to go to the next level audaciously, but in the same breath, it means you have a commitment to up your game, to up your levels of execution, to always hold yourself to a standard of excellence, because that is the minimum standard in the room. Darling, that is what being unapologetic is really about. It's not being full of shit. It's not being full of yourself and just go, well, you know what? I am good enough as I am. It's constant and never-ending evolution, progression, and execution and improvement. That is what unapologetic is. It's holding yourself to that standard and then owning that for yourself and for everybody around you. Because when you are in an unapologetic space, there's no lowering the bar. There's no giving people free rein to just be mediocre in anything in their lives. No, darling, you come and you play a really, really big game. So, where are you not giving yourself permission to practice more? Where are you not actually giving yourself permission to have exceptional standards for yourself in anything that you do? Whether this is you actually working in your business, whether this is you, working with a client, whether this is you cleaning your house, whether this is you looking after your car. It's one of the things that I always talk about, that's a distinction between appreciation and gratitude, because a lot of people are just giving lip service in gratitude. Well, a lot of people are just giving lip service and fucking everything in their lives. But appreciation is a show of appreciation. It's an energy where you can actually see this person appreciates everything in their life because there is an action behind the appreciation. So I would love to hear from you guys. What is it in this thing that is resonating with you? Where are you actually willing to start increasing your levels of standards for yourself and executing at excellence? Where do you know you need to start practicing more? And are you allowing yourself to play in the sacred spaces that you know will actually inspire you to up your game to a level that it's not been before? This is absolutely critical. Now, if you are a female entrepreneur, and I'm going to say unapologetic is definitely not a space for any woman who just wants to do it the way everybody else is doing it. It's also not a space for women who just want to give lip service. It is 100% space for female entrepreneurs who want to play a big game and to play it full out. That means taking real life action, making introductions, walking through the doors, and always raising the bar for yourself and for everybody else. If it's something that you're interested in, you can either go and have a look at my website, directionyou.co/unapologetic, or if you want to come as my guest and attend for free one of the sessions, let me know. I'll drop the link in for you, and you can absolutely come and play in my space and see if it's the real thing for you, if it's the best fit for you, because ultimately you can read all about it, I can tell you all about it, but you and I both know experience is everything. So I'd love to have you in my space. This absolutely is a movement that I am creating. There's going to be summits coming, there is going to be podcasts coming, so this is the beginning of something really, really big, and God knows the world of business and women entrepreneurship needs spaces like this. So with that, I'm going to love and leave you guys. Never forget, you get to live your legacy unleashed, unlimited, and unafraid, darling. Have an amazing day. I'll check to you soon. Cheers.